In a tiny village nestled between emerald hills, where the silver river sang its quiet lullaby, lived a little girl named Lilia. More than anything in the world, Lilia loved the stars. Every night, after her mother drew the heavy velvet curtains across her window, Lilia would carefully push them aside. She'd dangle her legs over the edge of her small bed, her wide eyes fixed on the sky above, a canvas studded with countless glittering jewels. To her, the stars were silent, wise friends, watching over her with gentle kindness from their impossible height. She dreamed, sometimes, of touching one, of feeling its cool fire sparkle on her fingertips, but her wise grandmother always said that was a dream as elusive as catching the summer wind. One particular night, the sky felt different. It wasn't just clear, it was glowing. The stars shimmered with an unusual intensity, as if dancing to a silent, joyful rhythm. Even the moon, usually a cool silver coin, seemed warm and radiant. Lilia felt a surge of pure happiness and overwhelming curiosity. Silently, she slipped from her room, clad in her blue nightdress the color of midnight, and crept out into the small garden behind her cottage. The garden was hushed, illuminated only by moonlight and starlight. The scent of lavender and jasmine hung heavy in the cool, clean air. Lilia ran towards the old apple tree in the far corner, the tree her grandmother claimed was older than the village itself. Its gnarled, intertwined branches reached up like open arms embracing the sky. And then, as she leaned against its rough bark, something fell from the heavens. It wasn't a bright, streaking meteor. It was a small, warm, golden glimmer, like a single drop of sunlight lost in the night. It drifted down softly, landing gently among the dew-kissed grass near her feet. Lilia froze, her small heart thudding loudly in her chest. Bending cautiously, she stretched out her hand. Nestled among the damp blades of grass lay something extraordinary, a tiny key. It wasn't ordinary metal. It seemed forged from captured light, warm to the touch, glowing with a soft, golden luminescence. It was very small, barely the size of her thumb, with intricate star-shaped teeth. At its head, a tiny, brilliant star was etched. "A key?" whispered Lilia to herself. "To what? And why did it fall from the sky?" She picked up the warm key and felt a light, joyful energy pulse from it into her palm. She scanned the dark garden. Was there a hidden lock here? She searched the old tree's trunk, among the branches, under fallen leaves. Nothing. Perhaps inside the house? Lilia crept back in, avoiding the creaky floorboards. She searched every corner, her bedroom door, her old toy chest, the bookcase. No lock matched the strange key's shape. Frustration began to prickle at her. She sat on the edge of her bed, the warm key clutched tightly. "Where do you belong?" she murmured to the key. As if it hurt her, the key began to vibrate gently in her hand, the star point at its head pulsing faster. It pulsed once, twice, then the star point seemed to point towards the open window. Lilia looked outside. The sky still glowed unnaturally bright. The key pulsed again, pointing unmistakably towards the moon. Not just at the moon, but on a specific spot on its surface, a patch that seemed darker, like a doorway. "The moon?" Lilia gasped softly, amazed. "How? That's impossible." But the key kept pulsing and glowing, warm and determined in her grasp. Lilia felt an irresistible urge welling up inside her. Maybe her dream wasn't impossible after all. Maybe this key was the key to her dreams. Without another thought, Lilia slipped back into the garden, the warm key clutched tight. She looked up at the ancient tree. "Please, help me," she whispered to it. As if responding, a soft breeze rose, carrying the scent of ripe apples, and the lowest branches began to bend gently, forming natural steps of wood and leaf. Lilia climbed carefully, her heart pounding with excitement and a touch of fear. The higher she went, the closer the sky seemed, the brighter the stars shone. She reached the highest point, where a strong branch stretched horizontally over the garden. She stood there, the cool air brushing her face, the key in her hand vibrating strongly, its star point gleaming like a real tiny star. "Now what?" she asked herself. In that moment, magic unfolded. A thin, silvery cloud began to form beneath her feet on the branch. It was soft as cotton, warm as morning sunshine. It stretched slowly, forming a narrow, shimmering bridge connecting the treetop to the moon. Lilia felt no fear, only a profound sense of peace, as if walking in a beautiful dream. She stepped carefully onto the silvery cloud. It felt firm beneath her small feet. She began to walk, step by step, over the sleeping garden, over the quiet rooftops, towards the open sky. The journey was breathtaking. She passed between stars that now seemed larger and closer than ever. She could see colors she'd never seen before. Deep blues, rich reds, pure whites. She heard a soft hum, as if the stars themselves were singing a quiet lullaby. Looking down, she saw her tiny village, like a miniature model, sleeping peacefully under the night's watchful eye. As she neared the moon, the key in her hand glowed brighter. Finally, she stepped onto the moon's surface. It wasn't cold and rocky as she had imagined. It was soft, like glowing silken sand, shimmering with a faint silver light. There was a profound stillness, a deep tranquility. The key pulsed again, pointing towards a dark patch on the surface. Lilia walked towards it and saw what looked like a small door carved into the moon. The door was made of something like the night sky itself, dark and filled with tiny sparkling star points. In its center was a lock, a small, intricate lock shaped exactly like the teeth of Lilia's key. A shiver of wonder ran through Lilia. This was the moment. She reached out, slid the warm golden key into the starry lock. The key turned smoothly with a faint musical hum like tiny distant bells. The door opened. There was no darkness, no emptiness beyond. It opened onto a small, warm room filled with soft light. The walls seemed made of glowing silk, the floor soft as cloud. In the center of the room stood a small table, and on it rested a clear glass cup. Inside floated a tiny, real star. It was the size of a tennis ball, glowing with a warm golden light, spinning slowly, emitting happy little pulses of radiance. Lilia stepped into the room, awe filling her completely. The little star seemed to look at her with eyes of light. She felt warmth and happiness flooding through her. "Hello, Lilia," she heard a voice say, soft and gentle, seeming to come from the star itself and from the light all around. "We have been waiting for you." You?" whispered Lilia. "I am the guardian of little dreams," replied the star in its musical voice. "I sent you the key. Every night I see your little heart yearning for us, yearning to touch the magic. I wanted to give you this night, this gift." "But why me?" asked Lilia, her eyes shining. "Because you believe," said the star. "You believe in beauty, in magic,